You've got 24 hours. So does the billionaire. So does the world-class athlete. So does the artist, the CEO, the janitor, and the dreamer still sitting on his couch. The question is not how much time you have. The question is, what are you doing with it? That's the great equalizer in lifetime. You don't need a title. You don't need a trust fund. What you need is a better philosophy about time. See, the clock doesn't discriminate. Every morning it gives you a brand new gift, 440 minutes. And successful people, well, they treat those minutes like gold. Now let me tell you something I learned early. It's not about being busy, it's about being productive. Most people confuse movement with progress. They're running all day, but they're not going anywhere. Successful people know better. They plan. They prioritize. They say no to distractions so they can say yes to purpose. Time is the only resource every human being receives in equal measure. Whether you are a billionaire entrepreneur, a rising athlete, a student, or someone just trying to figure out life, every day begins with the same gift, 24 hours. That's 440 minutes and nothing more, nothing less. The beauty of this truth is that no one can buy more time. No one can save it for later, and no one can fast forward it. The question that separates the successful from the unsuccessful is not how much time they have, but how they choose to use it. While some people let the day pass them by in distractions, delays, and indecision, others approach those 24 hours like a sculptor approaches a block of marble, with purpose, focus, and discipline. Successful people understand that time is a currency far more valuable than money. You can lose money and earn it back, but time, once spent, is gone forever. They think differently about how each hour is spent. They don't kill time. They invest it. They understand that the decisions made within a single day, when repeated consistently, determine their destiny. Their achievements aren't based on chance or luck, but on how wisely they use the same 24 hours that everyone else gets. It's easy to blame circumstances, the economy, or background, but none of those factors change the clock. The most powerful shift happens when a person stops saying, "I don't have time," and starts saying, "It's not a priority." That shift alone can transform how one views their days, because if you respect time, time will reward you. If you waste it, time will pass you by without mercy. And in the end, the life you build is simply the sum of how you've spent your 24 hours, day after day. In today's fast-paced world, many people wear busyness like a badge of honor. They fill their calendars, attend meetings, scroll endlessly, and bounce from task to task. Yet somehow, they still feel like they're falling behind. That's because being busy is not the same as being productive. Successful people understand this distinction clearly. They know that motion doesn't always equal progress. While others may be running in circles, they focus on moving forward with clarity and purpose. The successful don't get caught up in the noise of constant activity. They don't measure their day by how many things they did, but by whether they made meaningful progress toward their goals. This mindset requires asking tough but essential questions. Is what I'm doing right now bringing me closer to where I want to be? Is this activity a wise use of my limited time, or just a way to feel temporarily accomplished? This kind of thinking allows them to trim the fat, eliminate time, wasting habits, and zero in on the tasks that truly move the needle. They prioritize results over routines. They don't mind working hard, but they're much more interested in working smart. They automate, delegate, or eliminate anything that doesn't align with their larger vision. They understand that productivity is not about doing more things. It's about doing the right things consistently. This sharp sense of purpose in how they manage their time separates successful people from the rest. While others feel overwhelmed, they feel in control. While others drown in multitasking, they stay locked in on one goal at a time. This discipline turns into momentum, and momentum becomes mastery. Because at the end of the day, the value of your time isn't in how much you fill it, but in what you fill it with. How a person starts their day often determines how the rest of it unfolds. Successful individuals understand this and treat their mornings as the foundation for everything they want to achieve. While the world sleeps in or hits the snooze button, high achievers are already in motion, reading, planning, reflecting, exercising, or working quietly on their most important goals. They realize that the early hours are the most uninterrupted, focused, and mentally sharp part of the day. That's why they build routines that fuel productivity, not drain it. These morning rituals aren't accidental, they are intentional. They don't check their phones first thing or get pulled into someone else's agenda. Instead, they begin with clarity, knowing exactly what they need to accomplish and why it matters. This kind of control over the start of the day builds confidence and sets a tone of ownership. It puts them in charge, rather than letting external events dictate their emotions or direction. Successful people also protect this time fiercely. They understand that a scattered morning can turn into a scattered day, and a pattern of that leads to a scattered life. That's why they don't leave their mornings to chance. Whether it's journaling, visualizing goals, reviewing a to-do list, or simply enjoying quiet focus, they treat this time as sacred ground, a space to sharpen their mindset before the rest of the world demands their attention. Most people underestimate the power of a strong start, but for the successful, mornings are not just a time to wake up. They are a time to rise. With every deliberate morning, they create momentum, build self-discipline, and compound their progress. In the long run, this habit becomes one of the most powerful tools in shaping a life of achievement and fulfillment. Successful people don't let life happen to them. They shape it through intentional planning. They understand that what gets scheduled gets done, and they treat their calendars as tools for achieving goals, not just for tracking meetings or deadlines. Every block of time has a purpose, whether it's for deep work, learning, rest, or strategic thinking. They don't allow randomness to rule their day. Instead, they take control by designing each moment around priorities that align with their bigger vision. This clarity gives them a powerful edge. Rather than reacting to whatever shows up, they act according to a plan. They wake up already knowing their most important task of the day. They know what matters, what can wait, and what doesn't deserve any attention at all. That's why they don't fall for distractions or unnecessary commitments. They've trained themselves to say no to the things that don't support their direction, because every yes to something insignificant is a no to something essential. They understand that not everything urgent is important. They separate noise from value, busyness from progress. And because of this, their days are filled with deliberate actions instead of aimless motion. They make room for the things that create real results. Whether it's 30 minutes of focused learning or 2 hours of creative thinking, their schedule reflects their standards, not just their availability. Planning with purpose doesn't mean every second is rigid. It means that time is treated with respect. It's allocated according to values, goals, and dreams, not demands from the outside world. This way of living creates alignment. And when your time aligns with your purpose, every day becomes a stepping stone toward a bigger, more meaningful life. That's the secret of successful people. They don't chase time. They direct it. There's a critical difference between managing time and mastering it. Most people simply manage time by juggling tasks, meeting deadlines, and trying to stay on top of their to-do lists. But successful individuals go far beyond that. They master time by taking full ownership of how it's spent, with complete awareness of what deserves their energy and attention. They view time as their most precious resource, and they treat it with the seriousness it deserves. For them, time is not just something to fill, it's something to leverage. They don't rely on motivation or emotion to decide what gets done. They build systems that guide their actions, and they rely on habits and structure to eliminate decision fatigue. They don't waste time thinking about whether they feel like doing something. they've already committed to doing it. This level of mastery creates freedom. Ironically, the more structured their day, the more freedom they actually experience, because their time is focused and intentional. Another important part of mastering time is knowing when to say no. They don't overcommit or stretch themselves thin to please others. They are ruthless in cutting out distractions, minimizing low-value activities, and protecting their focus. They automate what doesn't need their personal touch, delegate what others can do, and streamline anything that slows them down. They keep their time aligned with their highest goals. This approach allows them to operate with clarity, speed, and effectiveness. They don't just get through the day, they command it. Mastering time gives them the space to think, to innovate, and to create at a high level. That's the real edge, because once you master time, you master your potential. And when your time reflects your purpose, every hour becomes an investment in the future you're building. Success isn't built in a day, it's built daily. What separates high achievers from the rest is their understanding that long-term success is the result of consistent, intentional investment of time. They don't wait for perfect conditions or massive breakthroughs. Instead, they make small, focused deposits into their goals every single day. Over time, these deposits compound into extraordinary results. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about doing the right things consistently, even when they seem small or insignificant in the moment. Most people underestimate the power of daily effort. They look for shortcuts or get discouraged when progress feels slow. But successful people play a different game. They know that mastery comes from repetition. They trust the process and remain committed to steady growth. Even on the days when motivation is low or distractions are high, they still show up. That daily discipline becomes the foundation of their achievements. They treat each day like a fresh opportunity to improve, to move the needle, to become a better version of themselves. Whether it's learning a new skill, improving their mindset, strengthening relationships, or refining their craft, they make progress non-negotiable. They don't let the day end without doing something that adds value to their future. This mindset builds momentum, and momentum, once built, becomes a powerful force. One focused hour a day might not look impressive in the short run, but over weeks, months, and years, it becomes the reason for their success. They understand that what you do occasionally doesn't shape your life. It's what you do consistently that defines your result. In the end, the people who achieve the most are not the ones who work the hardest for one day, but those who invest wisely in their time every day without fail.